Hi there, James here for Chronic Fatigue Syndrome, my friend, my enemy, constant companion. What's up, what's down, what's sideways? Day 57. Um, I was chatting with Mum today, and we're talking about chronic fatigue syndrome and how, um, the having chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia syndrome kind of enhances my family line's natural strong will, and I was saying, yeah, like sometimes we are obstinate, we are kind of mulish, but you could understand why, considering like what we've got to do and what we've got to deal with every day just to be able to do normal stuff. Not making excuses, just so that there's an understanding. Um, and we're talking about that. Um, I don't know how it came up, but because like cures are always a fun thing to talk about, and she was saying how the gradual exercise some therapy, get therapy, gradual exercise therapy or training or something like that was proven not to work. And I was like, what is that? And it was like, you know, how you can go on basically an exercise program that will gradually increase in intensity and build yourself up. Um, she says it's been proven not to work, and I one part agree. This is, by the way, this is the first time I've heard of G.E.T on like the social media forums, but I just never know what they were talking about. So oh, it just sounds like a normal exercise program. Um, I can see like it would not work as it would normally work with someone with chronic fatigue syndrome, but on the other hand, it can work. It just takes so much longer. I mean, that's what I have been doing, a gradual um, strengthening plan and mobility plan since I was 10. So, and some parts in there weren't gradual, and some parts in there weren't as intelligent as I could have been. If I knew now, so if I knew then what I knew now, I would be a lot better. But I didn't. And no one knew what I knew now back then for treating someone with chronic fatigue syndrome, stuff like that. So, um, gradual, uh, incremental plans of progression for bodybuilding and mobility. Bodybuilding, by the way, when I talk about that, I mean like to build one's body up. I don't mean like Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding. I mean like to build one's body up. Um, I have shown on me that it does work. But to get to where I am currently has taken me 20 plus years. Now, if you go and tell people, hey, we're going to start you on something now, you're going to take like a step forward, 2 steps back, sometimes 3 steps sideways, maybe 4 steps forward and then 3 steps back again, and you're going to find yourself in this weird place. And I want you to do that for the rest of your life. You know, like, doesn't matter what happens, you've just got to keep doing it for the rest of your life. Like, no, that's a really hard sell. Um, I do it because I love martial arts. I love sword work, and the stronger your body is, the better your sword work is. Um, and also, I hate being trapped inside my body, and the only way I'm going to not do that is by moving it and getting it stronger. It's just I've got to take a slightly longer path. Um, what I have done in 3 to 6 months has been really good. I can't fault it. Um, is it possible for me to have done something more for a healthy or a normal person? Yeah, quite likely. If they had the desire to do it, yeah, I can do a lot with a person in 3 and 6 months, 3 to 6 months. But at the same time, I'm not. My progress hasn't been awful. I mean, I went from not being able to do a chin up to now I can do a chin up. Um, I went from like when I first started working on the heavy bag, oh, just swinging my leg into the heavy bag hurt my shins, like my bones. I felt so frail. I felt like an old man, like the generic old man kind of weak thing. not that I've actually come across, I don't have a generic old man frailty in my family. But I was just, that's what it felt like. And I felt awful. And like, I'm a master's grade in martial arts. I should be able to handle this, you know. Um, I only figured out this year. I think it was this year. Because I was like, and I think I've shared this as well. Because of with fibromyalgia syndrome and chronic fatigue syndrome, you can sometimes have very sensitive muscles, sensors, skin, anything. Like a shirt can be too heavy sometimes. Um, and there are places on me that are really tender. It's hard to explain. And I was learning through having a conversation with a student. I kind of like had that light bulb moment. It's like, I'm not weak and I haven't, um, not been diligent in my training. I just have a thing that that causes such an issue. And that was like a mind blown kind of moment. It's like, yay! I haven't been. It's not just I haven't been not training properly or something like that. It's like it's how I am, and that took a lot of pressure off me because not saying that I don't train, not saying that I don't focus on it, not saying that I don't try and improve, but when you kind of understand for a moment that well that feeling's not going to go away, so it's okay. You can keep training. It doesn't matter. You're not training poorly. It's just that's how you are at the moment. So you can get there. You can build up. It just takes a while. So I went, yeah, like the old man shins. Like I was not good. I couldn't do a chin up. Where once I used to be able to do hand over hand rope climbs. I couldn't do a whole bunch of stuff, and now I can. So what's going for me is one, my body remembers a time when I could do it because over the years I've been able to huge valley and then like build up and like now I can do single leg squats and then like back down to the valleys, but my body's like we used to be able to do single leg squats and then so I can work back up to it. So I've got the programming, the wiring's already in my body. I've just got to kind of like build it back up. So that's why it's like a really long, it's been a long-term constant thing with me of being able to get up to like here and then dropping right down and then working my way back up and maybe I work there or maybe I work up a little bit higher and then drop down. I can get back and usually when I come back, my base is a little bit higher, which makes a difference. So something little remains. Maybe it doesn't take me as long to get back up to single leg squats. Maybe I can now work on a different chin up or a pull up or something like that. So I might feel like I lose everything, but something little remains, and my body has it wired in it now that it's been there before. And once you get to somewhere, it's usually easier to get back there. So I went from really not good to I'm still not good, but physically, if I want, I can do a chin up, or I can do some other pull-up exercises. I can do sword work for like full on for half an hour or so. It wipes me good, but I can do it. Which means though when I go and interact with students and like their full on is not near my full on, so I can keep up with them. I can keep going. I can still do stuff. So gradual exercise therapy, as people may know it, does not work. But if you look at it over a span of decades, then yeah, I reckon it can. And I'm proof of that. You've just got to keep going, accept that you're going to slide backwards, but know that if you've been somewhere, it's easy to get back up there and you just got to keep going. The mental side is like, oh, I've already been here. Then you slide back and I'm going to work back up. And like, it really is a mental game. Mainly it's a mental game because you've got to do it. You've actually got to do something. You've got to go outside your comfort zone. You've got to just do it. Nike, do it. So just thought I'd share that. It's always interesting to have a conversation with my mum because she's from the supporter side, and I'm from the having experience side. And she'll tell you, like, you know, my family's had it for 25 years, and I still couldn't tell you what they're going through because I don't feel what they're feeling. I can tell you what I can see, though. I can tell you that, you know, these men who aren't slack will sometimes, like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit here or lie here. Might just sleep now, you know. So she can tell you about it from an observation point of view, and also she can remember stuff that I can't because I experienced it. I was the one experiencing it. So sometimes it's not the best observational viewpoint. Whereas she was like, oh yeah, that time he was in hospital. Rah, rah, rah. So look, thank you very much for letting me share with you day 57. I hope you guys are making the most of your day. If you got any questions or you'd like to introduce yourself, please feel free to comment below or message or whatever you can do. And like, share, subscribe, and thank you very much. Hit the little notification button. I knew I was missing something.